The elites need your consent to conspire against you. The secret has always been known by the few. The benevolent spiritual leaders of the world and the evil ones know one thing, and benevolent ones have been telling you for a long time. They do not want you to know this. That is, this is a holographic reality where the mind dictates matter. And since mind over matter, that means it is not a natural physical world. It is an observer-dependent world, as quantum physics now suggests. God is dreaming you, and if you become awake in the dream, you can control it. As man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Or, as Hermes Trismegistus tomb revealed to the world. As above, so below. As within, so without. The cabal knows we live in a simulation. Therefore, they use predictive programming to lead you to their end. As they know that this is not a natural physical world. The book Morals and Dogmas of the 33-degree Freemason Albert Pike says it all. The blind force of the people is a force that must be economized and also managed as the blind force of steam, lifting the ponderous iron arms and turning the large wheels, is made to bore and rifle the cannon and to weave the most delicate lace. It must be regulated by intellect. Masses are a fierce power. But Albert Pike and such people of the cabal think that masses do not possess the intellect the elites do. Therefore, they feel the need to guide the sheep to ends they seem fit. But the elites cannot do anything without your consent. Your power is necessary for their rule over you. To manifest something major in the collective reality, the consent of the collective is required. This is why there is so much propaganda. Politicians repeat lies again and again, as they know the power of repetition. They know that if they repeat something enough times, a seed will be planted in unsuspecting minds. And these unsuspecting minds will give their consent out of their naivety. There is nothing to fear. If this video makes you fearful, then know that they do not hold power over you unless you give it. Because if they did, they would have taken over the world already in an absolute totalitarian grip, as this cabal is ancient. Few in numbers but mighty in knowledge. They need your consent to take over the world because your mind creates the collective reality. They cannot do it without you, so the deeper context of this video sets you free from this illusion. You are the operand power in your own reality. And collectively we can do anything if we realize our power. But some egotistical people have rigged the system and created it in such a way that they can maintain their power for eternity. And they can only do that by keeping the masses ignorant about their inherent divine power. This is a simulation of the mind, a dream in the mind of the all, as the Hermetic teachings suggest in the book The Kybalion. And all of us can use this divine power of speech and mind to manifest whatever we want in our personal life and collectively as human race. As the Hermetic maxim says, man is given the gift of speech and mind which makes him equal to immortals. This is why the powers that be are hellbent on keeping this information away from you. By endless propaganda, wars, deliberate economic collapses to cause instability in the world. So that you will never get out of survival mode and ask the deeper questions. Therefore, this video is to set your mind free from all the dogmas, manipulation and predictive programming that they have done to you. This video is about taking your power back in your personal life and doing your part in the collective by bringing about a bright future for humanity collectively. Consequently, these few families of the elites who have been ruling for a long time will rule no more. Because you will have withdrawn your consent to give them what they want by refusing to play their games of war and endless false flags. If every soldier wakes up and refuses war, who is going to fight then? Don't you see? They need you to carry out their dirty work. Since their plan is not harmonious with what is good for humanity, they need to manipulate the masses into agreeing to it subconsciously. As Neville Goddard said that I would be a fool to tell you that this law does not work negatively, it does. The Golden Rule. Neville warned us to always apply the Golden Rule. That is, do unto others what you would like to be done unto you. The reason being, if you imagine evil for another and they do not accept your suggestion subconsciously, it comes back to you. For example, if you wish illness upon another and that other person has strong beliefs about their health. They lead a healthy life that fills them up with vitality, they will reject your suggestion subconsciously. As they do not relate with the consciousness of disease. And because you violated the Golden Rule, you will suffer the consequences you wished for another. Therefore, the cabal desperately wants you to agree to their plans to avoid the consequences of the Golden Rule. This is why they always reveal their plans beforehand in movies, books, music, and news in covert ways. To pass it quietly to your subconscious mind. If you do not consent, their plans will be their ruin. This is why they want to keep everybody ignorant of the real knowledge of this reality, so that you may stay forever subservient to them. How to break free from the simulation. To break free from it, you need to understand the age-old and simple truth. As man thinketh in his heart, so is he. This phrase put me on this path of self-discovery, which I found from these 3 books: As Man Thinketh by James Allen, The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy, and Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. By the way, you can read these books in about 40 minutes on Shortform. Shortform extracts the most valuable bits out of popular non-fiction books, while preserving the integrity of the teachings meticulously. It is the best way to 10x your knowledge in a very short time. Shortform even provides a 1-page summary that you can read in a couple of minutes to decide if that book interests you or not. They have an impressive library of 1,000 plus life-changing books, including many of my recommendations like Power vs. Force, Reality Transurfing, and The Power of Now. There is an audio version available for every book so that you can listen to it while working out or driving to work. There is a special free 5 days trial with 20% discount on annual subscription for Stellar Thoughts viewers. It's an affiliate link, so your sign up via it will help support this channel. As Man Thinketh, Think and Grow Rich, and The Power of Your Subconscious Mind are perfect books as an appetizer for your knowledge cravings about who we are and get you out of survival mode. As they are not too outlandish from the existing knowledge level of the masses when it comes to metaphysics. And they provide a perfect platform for you to get into the profound work of Neville Goddard that will truly change your life. But to understand the Cabal, you need to read the books of David Icke. Be warned, however, David Icke is for those who dare to learn the absurdity of things in this reality. He is for advanced students only. How do I know this is a simulation? In a natural and physical world, coincidences should be the exception and not the norm. Yet for the past year I have been seeing the repeating numbers 1111 at a frequency that I cannot ignore anymore. Now, there are many interpretations to why it happens, and honestly, I do not care for others' interpretations. To me, this exhibits a glitch in the matrix. I have seen it way too many times to the point that I am convinced that it is my higher self telling me, stay awake, don't get lost in the illusion. Despite teaching the law and sharing spiritual teachings with you guys on this channel, I do still very frequently find myself lost in the illusion. That is the nature of this simulation. Immersion to the point of complete forgetfulness of who we really are. So I guess, my inner man has taken it upon himself to show me via 1111 to come back to the knowing of, I am. Too many or frequent coincidences show no coincidence at all. Existence of black magic screams mind over matter. Shamanism, black magic, voodoo, and such practices have been going on for centuries if not millennia. Now, contrary to the modern scientism interpretation, I do not believe that our ancestors were primitive. But the opposite is true. Modern science doesn't like to admit it as it messes with their uniformitarianism theories. Great pyramids of Egypt are one of the irrefutable examples of our ancestors being far more sophisticated than we give them credit for, both spiritually and technologically. All this to say is, shamans and black magicians of the old were not intellectually primitive to have been practicing something to this day that is not supposed to work according to science. You see, a true magus knows the reality of the invisible ether. A formless substance that permeates our reality. Napoleon Hill talked about it in Think and Grow Rich. This ether is a neutral field full of potential. And it responds to the commands of a soul that is filled with a burning desire to achieve something. The quantum field of infinite potential that responds to the observer in scientific terms. A true Magi knows that this reality is an illusion, being animated by the intentions of a soul. Whatever is strongly intended appears from this infinite potential in flesh. The fact that magic and dark arts exist to this day is a testament to them having some substance. It works, otherwise man loses interest unless he is insane. That is the nature of man. What even is the placebo effect? So we can't explain how a person healed from an illness even though we gave him fake medicine, let's call it the placebo effect. I mean, this term explains nothing. Isn't placebo effect one of the best examples of mind over matter? Where a person believes that the drug they have been given will heal them. This strong intention is presented to the ether of unlimited potential. The ether then responds with healing. The book The Power of Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy presents a similar observation. Every religion and faith have people who went to their respective spiritual healer, temple, mosque, church, you name it. And they were healed. Who did the healing? Because the gods of all religions in their fundamental definition can't be the right one simultaneously. Do you see the flaw in the plot? The placebo effect and faith healing puts us in this odd predicament where we must accept the notion that this reality might not be so consistent and natural. Mind over matter is the only answer. Therefore, if mind over matter is true, proving the objectivity of this reality is a problem as complex as the string theory. Perhaps impossible to solve. And could it be that the modern science is grappling and struggling with proving gravity, string theory, dark matter, reconciling quantum physics with Newtonian and such advanced theories, because they are based on the false premise that we live in a natural, solid world? This is how predictive programming works. Rituals are very important to the elites as rituals are programming templates. They can induce a state of receptiveness in the masses if done onto them, or in the practitioner himself to manifest his desire. Here is an example from the 2012 Olympic ceremony. Related to the virus sham that happened in 2019, and it will all make sense. Rituals use subliminal to seep into the subconscious mind of the unsuspecting victim. Meaning, the victim doesn't know he or she is taking part in a ritual or predictive programming. An event to come in the future for the masses to suffer from. They need to keep it artistic and subliminal to slip through the conscious minds of the masses and plant the seed. And so, they use the powers of hundreds, thousands, millions of unsuspecting minds to manifest their agenda into our collective reality. You give your consent in your ignorance. This is why you are not supposed to know this or anything of value about this reality. This is why the school education is a joke, news are full of fear, because a depressed and scared mind is the perfect vessel for mind control. And religions are the perfect tool to keep you spiritually enslaved on top of intellectual enslavement. For one reason alone, keep the masses subservient. Why they don't want you to know this? Since they go against the will of the Creator and are in open rebellion against it, they need energy. And other than the divine energy of the Creator that is freely available for the ones who are connected to it, you the immortal are the energy source. You provide them with the energy they desperately need to keep on ruling over this world. They need to manipulate the immortal into believing he is a tiny speck in the infinite cosmos. Life is inherently meaningless. Pursuit of pleasure is all there is. If you don't obey my God, you will burn in hellfire for eternity. You see, once they have taken away your true identity as the immortal, you are pretty much done for. As you lose the ability to be your own source, via active co-creation with divine. You can then be programmed to be anything. A perfect pawn, who is a source of divine energy, but he is not using it for himself. It is being used by people like Albert Pike to direct the course of human future towards the end they deem desirable for them. The immortal thinks death is the end, so he fears it and is controlled by those who know more. Individual reality versus collective reality. Collective reality is under the control of the few, as the many are incapable of thinking for themselves. And picking out the manipulative tactics of the powers that be. Examples are the ongoing sham wars right this very moment. Everybody with a modicum of critical thinking will see that these wars are simply cruel and unnecessary. Wars are only about money and power. It has nothing to do with religion, nationalism or any noble cause they feed you to go along with their ploy. Yet men go and die for wrong reasons, thinking they are doing the right thing. Pawns of the elites are no other than the masses. Therefore, collective reality will always go in the direction that benefits the few and hurts the many. Until the masses begin to wake up. This is happening right now at a rate the world is not ready for. Everything is available for the seeker on the internet. To figure out what is going on. Therefore, a lot of people are finding out. But let me make it simple for you, if you stop participating in the games of the elites and your government and stop relying on them, they will cease to exist in their current form. Therefore, the best way to save the collective is to save the individual. Start with yourself. Apply the law of assumption and make the perfect life for yourself and people dear to you. Once you begin to do great, others will follow you. Because they will get curious as to how you are doing better than them. And that is your chance to spread your light. The ether that permeates this existence is neutral. It will give you whatever you project on it. It is a creative field of infinite potential waiting on the individual to project an intention on it. So use your imagination to manifest from the ether all the lovely things you want. And in doing so, you will be releasing yourself from the fate of the collective. And you will definitely pull some individuals from the collective to follow you. It's a playground. This is a divine drama. You are in a play, a game, an experience. You are here to learn the gift of speech and mind which makes you equal to immortal, as Hermes said. You are born into the illusion of a mortal human, and the objective of the game is to awaken the immortal within, by using the gift of speech and mind. To simplify it, applying the law of assumption in your daily life with your words and your imagination. Once you master it, you break free from the limitations of the mortal. Consequently, you have now become equal to the immortals. This is when the promise is given to you. That is, you do not come back to this game of mortality on earth again. You have graduated. You have finished this game, so you move on to the next game. Therefore, do not get lost in the illusions of race, nationality, religion, politics, wars and all other distractions in this world. It's all created by the powers that be to apply the age-old tactic of divide and rule. A minority can only rule over the majority if the majority is divided and ignorant. Exercise your gift, which gets you closer to your real self, the immortal. So, awaken, O immortal. The time has come.